think we're ready. Let's start with the letter M. Hebrews versus Egyptians. Genocide of firstborn males, wicker basket covered in tar, hope floating in the reeds. Pharaoh's daughter didn't know that she was raising a Moses. All she saw was a child in need. That's what? That's mercy. Let's talk about the letter E. Hadassah to Mordecai, Esther to most, parents deceased, backstory unknown. The people or her crown, compassion or complacency, death to anyone who didn't come correct. It wasn't just a Jew, but it was King Xerxes that God would move through, but not until Esther understood that even in your fear, doing God's will is always best. Sometimes choosing compassion over complacency will be your test. That's what? That's mercy. Let's talk about the letter R. Prostitution was her hustle. Lineage of Jesus, a part of her fame, but hiding the Lord's spies is why we know Rahab's name. Her family over everything. One, if not two things she knew. One, trust in the living God. And two, do right by others. And the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will take real good care of you. That's what? That's mercy. So we got to talk about the letter C. And not just because my name starts with C, but we have to talk about the letter C because he walked amongst us. He became our daily bread. He took our place over his dead body. And in the midst of enduring our private hell, he had time to still look to his left, to the least of us, and offer them heaven. If that's not mercy, I don't know what is. That's what? Lastly, let's talk about the letter Y. Oh, you have been called for such a time as this. A time of ethnic cleansing, a time to possibly put your life on the line, a time to have mercy when it's inconvenient, when it's messy, when it's scary, when it's difficult, even when it's in secret, when there is no applause, just a need for compassion. We're living in a world that doesn't want to know anything about our salvation because they judge us by our actions. That's what? That's mercy. If we're going to preach a gospel that without Christ we disqualify for ourselves, then remember that whatever you ask from God, you better be willing and ready to do 10 times over for somebody else. That's what? That's what? That's what? If we're going to preach a gospel that without Christ we disqualify for ourselves, we have to be ready and willing at the drop of a dime to do for somebody else, even if you don't like them, even if you can't stand them, even if they're in that situation because of their own actions. You have to be ready to do whatever you ask from God, from somebody else, because that's what? Thank you.
Is following